Hello, I'm Howard Phillips Lovecraft, and it's good to be back. Although we're going to be away again next week when we go out to Santa Fe, New Mexico to perform live at the Jean Cocteau Cinema. I do hope you'll be able to join us. Today's question comes from a young person who notes all the various cinematic and televisual adaptations of my stories, but wants to know, if I had to choose, which would I want to adapt one of my works between the Men in Black and Ghostbusters franchise? Now, these are very different programs, but they're very similar in some remarkable ways. The first, of course, is that they exist in a multitude of different media. The Ghostbusters has been a film and a television program. The Men in Black, similarly, although it got its life started as a rather gritty comic book, whereas Ghostbusters began as Dan Aykroyd's fever dream. But where they do show their differences is in how they focus on the weird and other. Men in Black, aside from the comic book, which did include certain supernatural elements, is mostly focused on extraterrestrials, on the cosmic. Indeed, spoiler alert, the very ending of the first Men in Black film would fit right in with my notion of cosmic horror when we discover that our very universe is merely a plaything for great unknowable entities. Ghostbusters, and by contrast, is more about the supernatural, the undead, all sorts of strange and unknowable forces at work. And I suppose I should caveat here that Ghostbusters did indeed make use of one of my creatures, this little fellow here. Of course, everyone knows by now that I'm not allowed to legally say his name out loud, but in the episode, The Collect Call of Donald, they made rather great use of it. But I think what it comes down to, as far as my preference, is which of my works is being adapted. If it's something that delves into dark necrotic forces, then I think Ghostbusters would make more sense. But if we're looking at the strangeness of the universe and what comes from beyond, then Men in Black is the obvious choice. But if you really want to know my opinion, there is one program which could adapt any of my stories perfectly. And that, of course, is Thundercats, for what should be obvious reasons. I hope that helps. As always, I'm Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Thank you.